Okay.
Yeah. All right, good evening, folks. I'd like to call the meeting for June 7th, 2023 to order for the Township of Lopatcong. But I ask that everyone bow their head for a moment of silence, please. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising a notice in the Star Ledger and the Express Times in Warren County Zone and by posting a copy on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Roll call, please.
Councilman Del Caro, Councilman McQuaid,
Here.
Councilman Polito,
Here.
Council President Wright.
Here.
Mayor Mangucci.
Here. Need a motion to come out of executive session?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the council has met in executive session where it discussed privilege matters regarding personnel, attorney-client privilege, contractual, and minutes from the executive session will be released at such time as the council determines no public harm will come from it. The council will now take action on 4 personnel matters involving DPW zoning officer, tax assessor, and pension matter.
All right. Thank you.
Motion.
Motion, please.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilman Del Caro, I'm sorry, he's wrong. Councilman McQuaid,
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Council President Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Mangucci.
Yes. All right.
The council will also take action on 4 contractual matters involving fire prevention appeal, sewer agreement, vacation of River Street, and public relation contract.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Councilman McQuaid,
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Council President Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Mangucci.
Yes. All right, next we have the swearing in of Officer Chris Petrella as a sergeant. Come forward.
All right, you're going to raise your right hand, put your left hand on the Bible. Okay, and repeat after me. I, Christopher Petrella,
I, Christopher Petrella,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of police sergeant
all the duties of the office of police sergeant,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Now, as is typical, most people don't want to stick around after they've seen that. So please feel free to clear the room if you'd like. I don't. No, we got the report up here, so we're good, Scott. Thank you. Okay. I think we're good. All right. Comcast, where you guys at? How we doing?
Hello, Mayor. How are you? It's
I'm
good
well.
to be back. I'm Rob Clifton, the Director of Government Affairs for Comcast.
With me today is Shay Leahy, our construction manager, Al Beckett, our construction supervisor, and Ryan Henderson, our business partner from Rhino Construction. I had spoken to Paul, and I know that the governing body had some concerns about the underground work, construction work, there you go. The underground construction work that we'll be doing in the municipality over the next year. So we'll entertain any questions, or would you like us to give a little talk first, or
The
how
only
do
thing
you want to handle it?
the only thing I would be concerned with would be any road opening permits. I understand there won't be really anything on the roads, is that correct?
That's correct. For the most part, we are going to stay in the utility right away, following power. The only time that we would do a road cut is if we did a one call and there was a high pressure gas line. For the majority, we will bore underneath of the roads, and it should be no disturbance to your current roads.
Okay, all right. That's a big one, so. And the sections in the township they're probably gonna need, I'm assuming Country Hills and the Brakely Park section, which are on the east side of Red School Lane, that's all?
Yep.
That's all underground anyway out there?
Correct.
Okay, so everything else would be,
Aerial.
okay,
So if it's currently aerial, we will stay aerial.
Okay.
If it is currently underground, we will go underground.
all right. Okay,
I know the engineer had brought up concerns about customer or resident issues. We'll be setting up a dedicated email
Yep. So
address so they can directly contact us if there's an issue or
okay,
have any questions.
Well, I think we would want to be in on that
I was just-
contract as well.
yeah. I would think, can we set something up where we would both be,
Well, yeah, anything, we would want 2 emails put out there. And I don't know, is there something going out to the homeowners involved so they have a notice of what's taking place at the time that it's going to be done? Are you sending out, notices? So
So-
everybody has,
Yep.
some sort of a.
So what we do is 2 weeks before, we put a door knocker on their door that notifies them within the next 2 weeks, we will be doing work around their property. Obviously, if there's any kind of road closures or lane closures, police are involved, we'll notify the township, we notify, the residents as well.
I'll send you my email so
Okay.
that,
yeah. I'd like to know what, just, even we just have a, block and lot number or an address that we know that those
so that
houses.
we're, listed on the notification. And there will be no disturbances on people's properties?
Just within the right of way.
Just-
So if the right of way is on their property, then we would be within, but any restoration we would be in charge of. So if we, cut their lawn, we'll restore their lawn.
And we'll put that in the notice as well, because I am getting concerns from folks. They're asking, well, how, what do I do if my, property's disturbed?
So we can leave these with you. This is a picture of what we've done previously. That is the before, and then obviously the after, so there's very little, just
Yeah, but if you could put that verbiage in the notice, I think that would calm a lot of people,
Okay.
okay?
And that is in the right-of-way agreement and the ordinance that the governing body passed, that language is in there as well.
Right. Any idea when you plan on getting started, or?
As soon as we get the underground permit, so I think this is the last step in that process, to my understanding. Once we have that, we would probably get started within the next 2 weeks after receiving.
Paul, you got anything else?
I have a question for Rob. Is Comcast considered to be a public utility?
We are regulated by the Board of Public Utilities, yes. So this work that's being done is under the right-of-way agreement, which the governing body passed last year. That right-of-way agreement allows us to do this work in the area that we proposed. It will allow us to sell commercial services, business services for internet and phone to any businesses along that right-of-way agreement. In order for us to build out the rest of the municipality and offer residential service, cable TV, and internet, we need to get a certificate of approval from the Board of Public Utilities. The first step in that process was our public hearing and the township's adoption of the ordinance. We have sent that ordinance along with the map of the municipality and our construction plan to the Board of Public Utility for their review. Once they adopt that, then we will have what's called a certificate of approval, which will allow us to service residents as well as businesses.
I'm not familiar with the right-of-way agreement. I'll have to get it from
I'll
Beth.
send you a copy.
But public utilities only have to provide a yearly bond of $10,000, which is very minor as compared to the scale of your project, so.
By law, we have a franchise bond of $25,000 for every municipality.
Okay.
All right, anybody else got any questions?
I think I know what we need to, I guess, have them come in tonight. I can structure the permit at this point.
Okay. All right,
Do you, are you gonna be, let me ask you this, are you gonna be working in multiple areas underground? Or are you gonna just start from one point and continue on in a certain route?
So right now, the main right-of-way path that we have with Greenwich takes us down 57. So obviously, we're going to go that and then hit the underground pockets that are right off of 57.
Okay.
There's a large section, I don't know the road names, but it kind of like tees off the northern section of 57, and inside is all of that underground work. That'd probably be the next stop that we're going.
We're probably gonna ask you for a written schedule, and there'll probably have to be periodic coordination meetings.
Yep.
We're gonna build that into the permit, just so we know what's going on, we can communicate with our residents.
So what we've done in the past is 2 weeks ahead of time, we provide a 6-week schedule. So you guys know where we're going to be over the next 6 weeks. And every week, we just kind of update that schedule and send it out to you. So that way you guys have visibility into where we'll be. And if there was any delays for any reason, such as weather.
So what is this complaint system? You're gonna communicate with the residents and us, and you'll have a site where they can go and post a complaint if they have a problem with your work or your contract?
So we have an email. So we'll have an email that they can email with any kind of complaints. And then what we do is weekly, we have a complaint tracker. We track all of the complaints, when we made first contact with them, what our plan of action is, and when we resolve that. And we can send that to you as well on a weekly basis when we send you our updated, where we're going to be at. So that way you guys can kind of have visibility into what the complaints are and our resolution plans.
Okay. So it's an email. You'll be communicating
email.
with residents where to email. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
anyone, anything else? We're good? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor, appreciate it.
All right, do we have any public comment on agenda items only? Yes, John? Of course.
On the ordinance about the health, safety, and welfare conditions in the and require landlords to provide hard copies of leases to the tenants, those are good things. I will have other issues to speak about later in public comment, which don't pertain to that item.
Okay.
Also, I'd like to know what Senate 3906 is. Is that a state Senate bill, or is that a federal Senate?
Which number are you looking at?
Number 4 in new business.
It's a state.
It's
That's the state, yep.
That's a state, okay.
Yep.
So the entire state has a total of 4.32 billion, and Lopatcong's getting 2.84, 3219.99 million,
Yeah.
If approved.
If approved.
if approved. Now, does anybody know where that came from?
Well, I might as well, I was going to read this a little bit later, but I will read you this from Senator Steinhardt. Dear Mayor Mangucci and members of the council, my Senate Republican colleagues and I recently introduced legislation S 3906 that will provide $4.32 billion of give it back. That's property tax relief to every town and county in New Jersey. Our proposal would allocate money from the New Jersey Debt Deficits and Prevention Fund for this purpose. The $4.32 billion would be dispersed to towns and counties on a per capita basis, which means every local government in New Jersey would get a fair share. Under our plan, Lopatcong will receive $2,834,321.99 that could be used to retire debt or fund capital projects of the town's choosing on a pay-as-you-go basis. This money could be used to reduce local debt and property taxes, or to pave roads, build parks, or advance other improvement capital projects that otherwise would have been funded with debt. Our proposal would not impact the state budget, since the funds we are seeking to dedicate to property tax relief have already been slated to be available in the state's debt relief fund and have yet to be allocated for another purpose. We know that many towns and counties have struggled financially as soaring health benefit premiums, rising pension costs, and inflationary pressures have impacted their budgets. We hope to provide this funding to help you to better serve your residents while reducing or stabilizing property taxes for years to come. If you support this plan and the allocation of funds as we have proposed to towns and counties like yours for property tax relief, we encourage you to contact Governor Murphy, Senate President Scuteri, and Assembly Speaker Coughlin to urge them to pass S 3906. So that is essentially what number 4 is about.
Just one other question. Mr. Attorney, could I please have your name?
Wade Baldwin.
All right, Wick Holden, I have some questions to ask you in public comment about unauthorized rental withdrawals for tenants in Brayton Gardens that are being withdrawn from their accounts without authorization. Just
Anyone else? Judy?
So my understanding, I didn't hear properly. You came out of executive session and took action on several items.
Yes.
So you take action after discussing in executive session, but no discussion as a open council, so that the public knows what any of these things are about?
Yeah, Judy.
Yeah, they're privileged.
Can you put the microphone next to you?
Um,
Sue?
I-
Thank you.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so there are privileged matters where if the details get let out, it can affect the details of it. So we can't go into the detail with the public regarding what action is being taken because it will be a detriment to the township and the council.
So when you talk about the paper street being vacated, how is that an executive session conversation?
So it isn't, the action being taken isn't the actual vacation of it. It is to get some more information regarding it and reach out to the property owners that would be affected.
So it's information gathering.
Yeah, and just really allowing public outreach to actually contact the property owners and get information.
Perfect, thank you. Under new business, the vehicles and traffic to amend gross vehicle, why are we excluding Baltimore Street?
We're adding Baltimore Street.
You're adding it?
Yeah, there's a gap right now. Currently, the weight restriction is only from Red School Lane to Strikers Road,
Correct.
and then from South First Street to the Hillcrest Mall.
Mhm.
So the piece between South First Street and Red School Lane is not weight restricted. So we want to add that to the weight restrictions that we currently have for various municipal roads in the town.
Very good then, so the whole length of Baltimore will be weight
Correct.
restricted.
That's what the end result
Awesome.
would be if this gets adopted.
That's great, wonderful. Number 4, I know you explained it, but what were you thinking if it were to pass, we would do with that money or have not
We
decided?
haven't even decided that.
Okay.
We haven't gotten that.
Would that be an open discussion or is that going to be an executive session?
It'd probably be an executive session to start,
Why?
because that's what I feel like doing.
That's what you feel like, isn't
Well,
there
that-
laws like what things can be discussed and what things can't be discussed in executive session?
You would find out later on down the road, yes.
Oh, I thought sunshine laws was very strict about what can be discussed in executive versus what can't be.
It would initially have to deal with contractual matters, who we would give contracts to, all that, but the actual allocation of the money would eventually be done in public.
The discussion of that would be done in public.
Yes.
No public input, I am gathering. Consent agenda. Bridge development, Rand Boulevard, approve release of maintenance bond. Does this mean that once they release that, anything of the landscape that dies, they don't have to replace anymore? Like there's,
Yeah, just, they've requested their 2-year maintenance bond, they've gone through the 2-year maintenance
Right.
period. We
Mhm.
did an inspection, there are some dead plantings out there. So if this were approved tonight, it'd be subject to them replacing those dead plantings. We had a meeting with them.
okay,
The infrastructure on that site is in very, very good condition
Mm-hmm.
based on our inspection out there. To answer your question, once this bond is released, there's no further obligations with the municipality at this point.
okay, That's what I
We
thought.
wouldn't have the ability to leverage any improvements, and it would really be up to them as far as property maintenance, addressing any issues on their property.
right, okay, thank you. Number 4, the New Jersey Environmental Protection Agency grant, what do we plan on using that $24,000 for?
We typically use it.
Yeah, I don't recall, we were awarded that grant.
That's a lot of money.
It is, I just don't recall what the CFO, what it was about, so I can let you know.
Thank you. I look forward to that. Number 6, awarding the Garden State Fire. Was there a donation for the fireworks, or is that coming out of town budget? I know we discussed that before.
At this moment, it's coming out of town budget. I have had one person reach out to me for a donation, so.
Okay.
It won't be any more than 10,000, probably considerably less. by the
Right,
time.
right. Number 16, for the flat rate for the police road jobs, that flat rate is per hour, correct?
Yes,
Not per, and is that at any rank, so all ranks?
yes, it's an average.
Is that how we came up with the number? So instead of people that have higher rank being paid per diem, is that how it was paid before, per diem?
The CFO has the formula.
I don't understand what you just said.
Well, you can, I'll have the CFO let you know because she's the one that comes up with that.
My question was before, was it per diem?
I'll have to have the CFO let you know, Judy.
Oh, you don't know the answer to that. Okay, great. All righty, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Anyone else, questions, comments, agenda items only? Hearing and seeing none. Under old business, number 1, minutes of the May 3rd and May 17th executive and regular and special meeting minutes. Anybody have any questions, comments, additions, omissions? Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman McQuaid,
Yes, for the May 3rd and abstain from the May 17th.
Councilman Polito,
Yes.
Council President Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Menucha.
Yes, number 2 is ordinance number 23-11, second reading and public hearing to appropriate $560,000 for various capital improvements in and by the township and authorizing the issuance of $531,500 in bonds and notes to finance part of the appropriation. Need a motion open up to the public?
Motion.
Second.
Folks, questions, comments? John?
Yeah. The question is, does council know what those appropriations are going to be used for yet?
Some of these are for roads. The next one, I believe, is for various equipment for the police department, fire department, and whatnot.
Yes, so basically infrastructure and stuff that takes care of everything around Lopatcong. All right, thanks.
Judy, so you had your hand up?
I have the same question.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Motion to close the public?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to act.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Councilman McQuaid,
Yes.
Councilman Polito,
Yes.
Council President Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Menucha.
Yes. Number 3 is ordinance number 23-12, second reading and public hearing of bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $1,025,000 for various road improvements and authorizing the issuance of $713,102 in bonds or note for financing part of the appropriation. Need a motion to open up to the public?
Make the motion.
I'll second it. Folks, questions, comments? Judy?
What was that? What are you spending it? Is that what you said before?
The first one was basically for fire, DPW, and police. This is for roads.
Roads.
Yep,
What roads? Are they the ones we've been discussing at the meetings?
such as,
Bellevue,
yes,
Baltimore?
yes,
Jade.
Jade, Stonehenge too, correct?
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge. We're going to continue that, so yes.
Great, thank you.
Anyone else? Motion to close to the public?
Motion.
Second.
Motion to act?
Make the motion.
Second.
Councilman McQuaid.
Yes.
Councilman Polito,
Yes.
Council President Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Menucha.
Yes. Number 4 is ordinance number 23-13, second reading and public hearing to amend the rent control ordinance to add mold as a health, safety, and welfare condition and to require landlords to provide hard copies of leases to tenants. Need a motion to open up to the public?
Motion.
Second.
Folks, questions, comments? John?
General question about this health, safety, and welfare conditions.
Mhm.
Can other things be put in that ordinance if they need be in the future?
The ordinance says including but not limited to.
Yes, that's what I thought, Jim. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else, questions, comments? Judy?
Do we have a rent control committee or like town committee still?
There is a rent leveling board, yes.
Leveling board.
Yes.
Do they deal with situations like this?
Yes,
And public can go there if they have complaints and they would
yes.
like to see changes?
Yep.
Okay. That, they meet monthly?
When do you guys meet?
Every other month. Next meeting is scheduled for July, third Thursday of every other month. Next, July will be the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I don't know the exact date.
Thank you. Thank you for using your mic, so I heard you. Thanks.
Anyone else, questions, comments? Motion to close?
Motion.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to act?
Make the motion.
second,
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Manglucci?
Yes. New business. Number one is ordinance number 23-14, it's the first reading of chapter 227 entitled Vehicles and Traffic to amend the gross vehicle weight rating exclusion for Baltimore Street.
Motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Manglucci?
Yes, number two is the number 23-15, first reading to establish position of Deputy Supervisor of Public Works. I'll make that motion.
Second,
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Manglucci?
Yes. Number three is ordinance number 23-16, first reading to establish position of qualified purchasing agent, a statutory position established pursuant to the New Jersey local public contract. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Manglucci?
Yes. Number four is resolution in support of legislation S-3906 that would provide $4.32 billion of give it back money, property tax relief to every town and county in New Jersey. Lopatcong Township is slated to receive $2,834,321.99. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Manglucci?
Yes, the consent agenda, which is number 1 through 19. Anything you want to pull, gentlemen? Hearing and seeing none, I'll take a motion on the consent
Make the
agenda.
motion.
Second,
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Manglucci?
Yes, council reports? Rick?
I don't have anything for you, Mayor.
Okay,
Thank you, Mayor. Recreation, we are scheduled to have our first annual car show this Friday. It's on standby. We will probably make a decision on Friday, given the air quality, whether or not to cancel it.
okay,
And that's all for now. Thank you.
all right, very good. Mr. Wright?
Chief of the police department gave me a few things he asked me to relay. The law enforcement torch run will be coming through Lopatcong, and they will run through Lopatcong Township. Will begin at the Hillcrest Professional Plaza to Baltimore Street, down 57. The Lopatcong Township portion of the run will begin approximately 9:15 a.m. on June 9th. August 1st is save the date for the annual National Night Out. Will take place from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Lopat Park. All community members are invited to attend and come out and see our police department. And I think that's about all I have.
All right, thank you. I do have one thing from the police department, from the chief. I will not mention the individual's name because they wanted to give it anonymously, even though the name is here. On behalf of the Lopatcong Township Police Department, I would like to extend my most sincere appreciation for the generous donation that was recently presented to this agency. The full donation of $2,000 will be used to purchase new photographic equipment for the police department's detective bureau. The addition of the latest photographic technology will be instrumental in properly and efficiently processing scenes. Photographic evidence is invaluable in any investigation. We are very thankful for the contribution you have made to allow for up-to-date resources for this community. Your support of the Lopatcong Police Department and this community is very much appreciated. Sincerely, Jason Garcia, Chief of Police. So there's some good news from a resident who felt the need to donate some money. Our police department has been very lucky over the years. It was probably 10 or 11 years ago now that I received a donation from a former resident who was a former police officer here who's made a lot of money over the years. He's now down in the Rehoboth Beach area and also in Maryland. He's got several homes, who bought us all new guns at the time. So I am very appreciative of those residents who donate for a cause. So my thanks to them. I do have a couple things here that may stop some questions. It seems to come up every meeting. So this is from our zoning officer. I had asked Beth to have him just give me a brief synopsis of what's going on Bellevue Road. We're in court on that. The attorney's supposed to reach out and meet on site. He hasn't made contact. They spoke of getting a land use attorney, but they haven't made contact with any updates. This judge isn't going to play games, so he'll have to be ready for trial on that day. The old Cooper's gas station on 22, they removed a lot of the trucks. It's my opinion that at this point, you couldn't tell one way or another if they're working on those trucks. If they want me to write a ticket again, I could, but it's dramatically less than it was. I would probably have to come early and observe if there's a crowd coming to pick trucks and leaving and then returning. If there's a known time, I'll help cut the wasted time as my time in Lopatcong is limited. All aside, they are a heavy truck mechanic shop. Does a resolution they got limit the number of trucks allowed? He wanted to know that, so we'll have to get him that information. He considers it abated. The old Bell and Howell building, which is Twilight, they paid a fine and are supposed to put up a no truck parking sign. Again, I'm not there to witness trucks coming and going. When I pass there, it's usually what he claims to be his 3 trailers. There are 5 trailers there, but that's who's counting. They definitely don't have the traffic parking of trucks like it was in the beginning. I'd consider this abated too, minus the sign that was promised. And then we did one other thing with some property on 22 with some high grass. So that's about it. I've read the letter from Mr. Steiner. I've read the letter from the cops. I've read the thing from our zoning officer. So that I do have our police report up here as usual, and that's about it from me. Paul?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to advise the governing body and the public that the Baltimore Street Improvement Project is slated to begin on Monday, June 19th. Contractor has not given me a schedule yet, but when I get one, I'm anticipating that work will be done in less than 30 days. So we'll keep everybody informed. Regarding the sidewalk project on Belvedere Road between the flashing light and Wildew Avenue, we're still waiting for the Department of Transportation Civil Rights Division to approve the contractor who had the low bid on that project. So until that happens, we're not going to be moving forward with issuing a contract to that low bidder at this point, but it's going through the process right now. The head of local aid in Mount Arlington is very sensitive to our needs, which is to get this job started and completed while we have good weather. So he's been doing some follow-up, but I'll have more to report at the next meeting. And then lastly, we are preparing a grant application to do further improvements on Stonehenge Drive. This particular area would be between Buckley Hill Road and Red School Lane. So the deadline for filing that application is June 30th, and we'll have the application in well before then at this point. So that's my report tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Need a motion to approve department reports?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approve payment of bills?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Fredo?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Hinkle?
Yes. Folks, questions, comments? Yes, sir. We'll get to you, John.
About 5 minutes.
Bob Bruce, 11 Harwich Road. Mr. Mayor, you said you had the police report there.
Yes.
I had inquired previously whether the police department report could, similar to Greenwich Township, since we're all in this boat of truck violations together, citizens complaining about them, based on Greenwich's reporting by their police chief, the statistics on the number of traffic stops on trucks and the number of violations offered and whether they've been increasing, decreasing, whatnot. I had asked at the previous meeting. We didn't have an answer. The police chief wasn't there. He's not here tonight. I don't know if you have that in your report.
Now, this is basically just, some of the things on this report are burglaries, theft, it's a whole list of disorderly conduct, assist other agencies. He just gives us a report on a number of events
Okay,
and whatnot,
so, with all due respect, sir, wouldn't you agree that we're in the same boat as all the other townships?
Sure.
And at least to just mollify the public that we're actually using our police department to address these truck concerns, that maybe you request that number be issued in the report every month. We stopped X number of traffic stops concerning trucks. We issued so many violations. And how does that compare? Is it going up? Is it going down? It's an ongoing problem. And we'd like to know.
It says there's 119 traffic stops.
Okay, you got 100,
Right.
that's overall, right, sir?
Right.
That's for
And it breaks it down. But let me ask you, have you seen the one over in Greenwich?
I was at the Greenwich meeting and they reported it verbally.
That there were specific amount of trucks. and how
Specific
many-
amount of trucks,
How
yes,
many
sir.
fines they issued to those
Yes, sir.
particular stops.
He didn't tell you what the violation
Right.
were for, but, hey, we're stopping trucks, this number, we violated them.
Form, that's what I'm asking.
Yes, the police department of Greenwich Township
Oh, yeah?
reported it in an open session.
Well, this is a state form, right?
And they did that on the basis,
This
No,
is-
it's just agency activity report, everyone has their own.
It's the same one, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same one issued by the state. I would love to see that if you get a copy of
Does the
it.
gentleman?
I don't have a copy of the report, sir. What I have is attendance at an open public meeting where your counterparts in Greenwich Township noted the fact that their residents were rightfully concerned about what's going on, because we see these trucks all over the place.
But they gave you, they told you we stopped.
And it
62
opened,
trucks.
I didn't get a report, sir. What I'm simply saying is that they issued a verbal announced number of truck stops and violations, and how many more that was than the prior month.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 119, that's what we have, but we don't have it broke down, but
Is that
all vehicles.
all vehicles, right? Well, they not only did it by traffic, they talked about DUIs, they talked about arrests.
Yeah, well, we have all that.
Yeah, we have that also.
Okay. Well, obviously, they're all important. They're all activities by our police department. But specifically, as I say, your counterparts address the fact that, hey, residents are bent out of shape about what's happening to the communities because of these trucks. And they wanted to get numbers, and they gave numbers.
Well, to that end, Beth, you gave me a brief synopsis yesterday. We sent our ordinance up to the county, correct? Correct?
Yeah.
They approved that ordinance?
No.
No.
There's another step, correct? Okay, so,
So we adopted an ordinance the end of last year regarding the ability to stop trucks on Belvedere Road and some other roads outside of coming in our town, I guess. And so, because it involved other members of the community, other community municipalities, they decided to try to make this all come together as one unit, Greenwich and Peaburg, whoever it was. Then they had to seek an opinion from the Attorney General. So all of this, of course, takes time.
too much.
And so we did the first ordinance, and now we're finding trouble with the language in there, specifically gross weight rating ratio.
We changed our ordinance per some guidance that we got from the state police to gross vehicle weight rating, because that is an easier indicator of a weight of a vehicle and doesn't require the vehicle to be weighed. If you just have gross weight in the ordinance, even though it's obvious that the vehicle is over a certain weight and is probably in violation of the ordinance, the vehicle has to be weighed. And as I understand it from talking to the chief, the only agency that's allowed to weigh a vehicle is the state police, which can create a big lag, in getting somebody there. They have limited resources to actually do the weighing of the vehicle. So it's a big problem. So that's why I went with the gross vehicle weight rating. We're trying to get the county to be comfortable with the use of that particular methodology for tracking weight restrictions. So we had a meeting with the county today. We agreed to share some information, and we hope to get this resolved and be able to introduce the ordinance for the county roads in this municipality on July 5th. So that is the goal.
So,
no,
some information you didn't ask for, but I felt,
No, excellent, all good. But again, I wasn't focusing on the specific concern with the weight restriction, Belvedere Road, big problem. It was just a general statement. Have that, included in the report,
Right.
and let us know that you're working on it.
5 minutes is up. I realize
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? John?
This has. Okay, we're having issues of unauthorized and unnotified withdrawals from people's accounts for insurance of around $300 for renter's insurance, which is through their company. The notifications are coming on emails. Some people don't have emails. Some of this is getting done,
You're
and
doing all this online. So is the money been removed by the time they get it?
some of the money's been removed.
Before the email?
Everybody doesn't have email. That's another problem. See, so that's an issue. So I'll ask you, Jim, could a complaint be made over that?
Yes.
Okay, that's one.
You can email me the complaint. I will discuss it with the Rent Level Board Attorney.
All right. Now, another issue is we go back to the fees that are being charged, like cat and dog fees and all those things. Has anything been done on that?
I'm not sure. I'd have to discuss that with the attorney.
Extra fees, that's all. Those are the things. The big issue today, though, was with the insurance, and I went over to the office, asked them if they were doing that. They said, no, we're not doing that. We're not charging without notifying. They're telling us it's in the email. Now,
Well, you don't have the option of who you want for your renter's insurance? It goes all through them?
you have the option, but then they automatically are shifting over on some people to them. You see?
Are you required, does your lease
We're
require?
required to have insurance, but theirs is being billed at $300. People can get that insurance through their auto company.
Yeah, for much, I understand
Piggyback
that.
for $125 to $135, $140.
Are you required to provide a certificate to the?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we are required to provide a certificate. But what they do is they automatically put you on theirs, which is running $300, and there's something that,
Do they require certain limits of insurance?
yes. You can get better insurance from your car insurance company, though. Pearl might want to get up and talk about, because she's one of the tenants that's affected by this. This is Pearl Hauk from Lakely Gardens. Right.
Okay, what he's saying is, we have renter's insurance. We've lived there going to be 18 years. We've always had renter's insurance through our New Jersey manufacturing with our car. Now they're saying everybody has to have insurance. We've always had it. We had approved to them when we signed our lease back in August that we had renter's insurance. If not, they get you in renter's insurance and you have to pay for it, and they put it on your rent.
So if you don't have it, they don't give you the time frame, say, hey, you must have it by.
No, they
just-
sent out letters saying you must have it.
Right.
And if you don't have it, there's like penalties and whatever. Well, what's happening to us is, I have paid, we have their insurance, we've proven it to them, not once, but 3 times. When we signed our lease, we took a copy from New Jersey manufacturer up to the office. They were supposed to copy it. Well, just a few months ago, I noticed when our rent changed for starting in October, that my rent was right the first month, second month, The third month, the fourth and fifth month, I was charged $23 more a month. And I called to see what was this charge on my rent, because I have it direct withdrawal. And we've had it direct withdrawal ever since we've lived there. We've never had a problem. And now what they're doing is they said they didn't have a copy of my insurance. So they took out with a company called Assurance, they took out an insurance policy for us that we have to pay them for. So that's what they're doing.
More than what you were currently paying your own insurance company?
Pardon?
More than what you were currently paying your own
Oh,
insurance?
yours is definitely more. Yeah, we pay like $85 a year. And you have to have $100. They don't care if, I forgot what it was. We just got a letter today, a notice today. It's on my phone. The $100, 100,000 rather. And we do. We had to comply with that, which we did back in October August when we signed our new lease. Somehow they got us insurance anyhow. I don't know if somebody didn't file it in the office, if it's the girl's fault that they didn't file, that we showed them we had it.
All right.
But the first couple months, we were only charged our 3% increase.
You get a hold of the attorney.
I'll talk to the attorney. If you
And
could send,
this happens every year.
okay, if you could, have you sent letters?
I'm sorry, I have a little hearing problem.
Have you sent letters to the landlord saying that you have insurance? You can send a letter saying that you've provided a certificate of insurance or the declaration page. You can draft something, send it to the landlord, send a copy to me. So, because any documentation you send to the landlord, please send to me.
And the other thing is they say that once the payment's taken out of your account, they will not,
Can't get it,
they
they're
will
not
not
going to
return
give
it.
it back.
All right.
I'll discuss this with the
We'll go home.
attorney.
We got time constraints here.
There you
All right,
go,
all
okay.
right. Thanks, John.
Thanks.
Thanks, man.
You have my email address, if you can give it to this lady, and,
Yeah, I will get a hold of it, Jim.
okay.
It's,
Or you could bring the letter here and I can come pick
yeah,
it up.
okay, great.
But I would like
Are
documentation.
they allowed to do that? Just take money out of your account when, you know,
If
you
it's in the-
signed a lease for a rent to be paid through the bank, yes. But we didn't sign a lease that they have carte blanche to put whatever they want and take it.
Yeah, see, I don't know what's in the lease, but I mean, they can require insurance, and they can say, if you don't provide us insurance, we'll get it for you.
Exactly, right, they do say that, but we had it, we showed them on the insurance policy, we just took it up for the third
All right.
time.
We'll
It has proof on there, New Jersey manufacturer.
we'll do our best to get it.
Yeah, their name is on it, Harbor's on my
Okay.
insurance
Yeah, and then
policy.
Jim, the refunding, they refuse, they say they will not refund.
Yeah.
So
Maybe they
Put that in documentation, so I can
Yeah.
give it to the attorney, and we can use it, okay?
Jim,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Judy? John Betts.
Judy Liptak, Kyle Drive. So I'm a little stunned that I came up and I asked questions about money spent, and then in the part of the voting from this council, you guys couldn't answer my question about money, yet you all voted yes. So that kind of stuns me. That means you don't know what you're voting on. You're voting on spending money, but you don't know, because you vote yes, but no one can answer my question about how money was spent or what the money was going to be used for. So I just find that kind of strange. So unfortunately, our council is doing nothing to curb overdevelopment of warehouses and eliminate the influx of them and the trucks in our town, despite what you, Mr. Wright, has quoted in the newspaper for the puff piece and Steinhardt's campaign article with the NJDOT. Instead, you are full speed ahead, building 2 more warehouses at the mall and the farm behind it, while having the audacity to ask New Jersey taxpayers to foot the bill on a grant to solve a problem of your own making, all while continuing to build warehouses on the mall and farm behind it. This is deceitful and despicable. Am I boring you, Mr. Wright?
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
I gathered you weren't paying attention. Again, despicable and rude.
Same thing over and over, okay?
You're rude. So do something.
Yeah.
You're just rude, inappropriate, and you're going to be our mayor. Since our council has created the disaster that we are living in with, what are you doing to actually help alleviate the issues in our town? Beth, please stop the clock when they answer my questions.
No, I can't do
Excuse me?
that. I can't do that, that's kind of hard.
Well, it should be up there anyway, so I could see my time. How do you plan to stop trucks and their tractors from going through our neighborhoods? the neighborhoods that children are playing, mothers are walking their babies. How are we stopping that? Because they're not weight restricted. Your silence, is this a game? Let's not listen to Judy
You're
Liptak or
leading the
answer her.
Public comment, Judy, it's not question and answer period.
Funny, you answered their questions, but you're not answering mine.
Just, it's your time to talk and just say what you have to say.
I have questions and you're not answering. You're not answering the public questions.
It's a comment.
No, it's a question. How are you guys stopping the trucks and trailers in our neighborhoods? There's trucks in our neighborhoods where mothers are walking their babies. They're in our neighborhoods. Their cabs are parked. They're idling. How are you stopping that? Are we going to weight restrict our neighborhood roads? Again, not answering. Rude. You guys are unbelievable. Talk about the lack of transparency. Did you ever think about putting electric signs on either end of Belvedere that says, no trucks? Try that. If you can't enforce it, try putting that there. Because you know what? Towns do that. The town of Clinton, that cares about the residents, actually have signs that say, put your phone down so you don't hit a kid. They use an electric sign. They care about their kids. They care about their community. What is our plan for enforcement to actually happen? Are we hiring more police? Because we had talked about that. Are you considering that still, hiring more police? Nice game. Despite Mr. Wright's grossly inaccurate quote, it does illustrate you all agree that there is a problem. You know there's a problem. The question is, how come you're failing to do anything about it? What is happening on Belvedere Road? Are you paving that so that the businesses there can increase their truck traffic? Are you ignoring the fact that there's no weight limit on that bridge and allowing the county to say there is no weight limit on that bridge so that you won't negatively affect the businesses that are on that street there? I sat through a handful of our hearings, and right now Berry Plastics has got trucks parked, trailers parked where cars should be parked. When other developers come up here and they have to get approvals for their parking lots, they have to say what's for trailers, what's for cars. We have trailers where cars should be. How come that's happening? Do you know what's happening at Berry Plastics? What business is happening there? What is it approved for? Is it approved for a grow house for marijuana? What is it? If you can't tell me what business is happening there, that means you don't know if it's a grow house for marijuana. What's happening in that business at Berry Plastics? And why are trucks allowed to park wherever they want there? Yeah, other developers have to abide by the rules. It doesn't seem fair. Thank you for not answering my questions.
Anyone else, questions, comments?
I've been getting a message that you want me to stand up and give a 5-minute thank you for the township's help in overcoming my mental illness.
Artie, what's your address?
325 South Third. Is that true?
I certainly wouldn't request anything like that, but if we've helped you over the years,
Definitely.
overcome that, then that's great.
No question, Jim. I know you helped.
I'm not looking for any thanks. If we were able to help you, then so be it. I'm glad we were able to do it.
Okay. Another question.
Yes.
Is the swimming pool dead?
Is the swimming pool dead? No.
No?
No.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Yep. Anyone else, questions, comments? John?
John Tetcherson, 38 Jade Lane. Just going to follow up to what Bob was asking about regarding the trucks on Belvedere. So are we not stopping the trucks because we're not allowed to stop the trucks? Or are we not stopping the trucks because the ordinance hasn't been changed yet, so we can't stop them for a weight issue without having the scale there?
I don't believe we can stop them for a weight issue, but don't quote me on that. We have pulled trucks over. You can pull them over for any one of a number of things. But for weight issues, at this point, no. And again, that's, it's a county road. That's why I had Beth give that little update tonight, just so we know, just so the public knows where that's at.
Okay, because that's a real sticky situation. I mean, trucks are using that like all the time.
John, I live on Belvedere Road.
I know, you said back in last June that Belvedere is a disaster, and it is a disaster. I sit on my deck and, every minute of the day, trucks are going by on that road. And, it's getting worse. I mean, I'm sure you guys are aware that, about the truck that tried to drive his 13-foot-6 tall tractor trailer underneath the train bridge. It's 10 feet tall. It's, the inundation of the trucks is really, really bad. We really do need to do something. It's, so do you think we will get that ordinance passed and have that ability to, I've seen signs before in other townships where it's based on the gross weight of the truck. So are we thinking that we will be able to get that?
That's our aim at this point.
Okay.
So-
And it has to be passed with the county? Is that what's holding it up? Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anybody in the?
It's their road.
Uh-huh.
We would end up buying the signs,
Okay,
okay, but we would also reap the benefits of the fines.
okay.
So
Is there anybody?
nothing would go to them.
Okay. Is there anybody that the public can comment or can contact and maybe, put in support for that
You
or
could, I think,
It's legalese at this.
yeah,
just legally?
I think it's a process. They're not, the commissioners are not fighting us on this.
Mhm.
It's just,
Okay.
Take it-
So it's the commissioner.
it's a process.
There's statutes involved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. All right. Because, the commissioners, they should be supporting that. They just had that big, thing about trying to control the trucks and everything. So, all right, thank you.
As far as that culvert goes, John, not looking to poo-poo that situation. That's been going on for years. What I'm more concerned about is two things happen there. Either the guy can't read the sign, or he doesn't know what height truck he's driving. So, I mean, that's the scary part.
7 signs he has.
Trust me,
But you brought the trucks here. You guys brought the trucks.
They've been coming
They've been
through
going
there
through
since
that
I've been
before.
16 breaking.
Okay, you're out of line.
I'm out of line.
Yes.
Anyway.
you're out of line.
Use your 5
You
minutes.
don't answer my question.
I'm just trying
Use your
to,
5
it's
minutes.
been going on forever.
You-
So.
I understand that.
And of
but-
course, the railroad's involved there,
Yeah.
so, I mean, I don't know what they would do there. I mean, as far as 57 goes, again, the railroad's involved, there's room there to widen that, as far as I'm concerned, but it's, is it gonna happen tomorrow? No.
Mhm.
Nope.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else, questions, comments? Hearing and seeing none, motion adjourned.
Motion. Second.
Folks, thanks for coming out.
All in favor?
Aye.
Jim, I'm gonna give you